Hello everybody, tonight I'm looking at the Geek Vape Ammit MTL RDA. Pull that top cap off. A little easy dual post ball deck. You've got airflow coming through this little post here, through that little post there, and you've got some airflow coming through the center post as well. Juice balls are quite deep, and this RDA is, even though you can drip on it, it's more designed for squonking. I've only been dripping on it, but it means you most of the time have to take the top cap off because it's a 510 and dripping through a 510 is not as easy or desirable as dripping through an 810. But let's stick a coil in here, do the wicking. It's going to be a juiceless bowl tonight. Let's give it a go. We'll be using a MTL fused Clapton. This is a 2.5mm diameter, and that's going to work just perfect. We're going to start by unscrewing the post screws. You won't get it open all the way, especially if your fused Claptons. Round wire is easy. Your fused Claptons tend to get hooked onto the screws when you put it through. And that's it. Open all the way. Get the coil legs through the two post holes. And we get our coiling rod out. We just want to line that up. We will be doing a little bit of pulling and stretching if it's not in the right position once it's tightened down. But get it as close to the posts before you tighten it down. Doesn't have to touch it, but get it close there. Tighten down the one screw. Using a long screwdriver tonight. And tighten down the other screw. Sure that's nice and tight. Okay. Before we cut the coil legs, we're going to position the coil. You want it center, so you've got the benefit of all three airflows. Airflow coming through the post over there, the airflow coming straight through, and the airflow coming straight up. Let's cut this coil legs off. So that's out of the way. And there we go. Because your main airflow comes through both those ports there, and you're going to have most of your airflow coming up from this side and from the side to side. The bottom airflow is minute and you can adjust it or close it off, but that will do just fine. one tip I forgot to mention. With your coil legs sticking out, if your snips doesn't get all the way to it, take your snips, put the one on top of the screw, and hook your snips in underneath that wire, and just push it up into the coil holes. That way you won't get any shorts should that protrude too much and touch the inside of the barrel. Stick that on the ABS cube. I'm going to give it a couple of quick pulses. Starting to warm up. Get those hot spots out. And we're good. The coil does look a bit chunky though. It's a 1.14 ohm bolt. Perfect for MTL. Let's get the cotton ready. It's a 3mm. I'm sorry, no, that's a 2.5mm. Okay, so on a 2.5mm, we'll be using about a third of a cotton bacon V2 strip, but we'll do this. Start rolling it from the middle outwards. You pinch it a bit in the middle, roll it, and as you move outwards, you're going to make the cotton a little bit longer, stretch it out a little bit, so that it thins it out in the middle. Makes it easier to fit through a 2.5, especially on the MTL fused Clapton, so you don't mangle up the whole coil. Let's bring that in there. Pinch that point, pinch and twist. Get that in there. And give it a couple of wiggles. It's nice and in. Okay. If you're going to drip on this one, I would suggest you do leave some space next to the side here, because just dripping on top, you're going to get the juice going into your airflow. Even though it's a top airflow, you're going to get a lot of gargling on this. It's going to mess up your whole airflow system. Let's cut the cotton. Scissors on top of the mud, base of the deck. 45 degrees and snip. Same on the other side. And snip it. Okay, so we're just going to thin this out a little bit. Like I said earlier, this is going to be a juiceless review. Won't be adding juice on this. That's that. Let's give that a haircut. Nice. And then we just tuck that in. Drop it down. Got more than enough space inside the deck. Drop that down. For squonking, your cotton will get wet from the bottom. It's a top airflow, so you won't easily over squonk it. For dripping, don't want to drip it up top, you want to open it up. You literally want to get your juice inside there next to your cotton. It's the best way to juice it up. Not too much over the coil. And that's it. Geek Vape Ammit MTL RDA, ready to be juiced and vaped. Enjoy.